It's the 9th age. It's Hyper G and Lucky Sixes for Proxy Table Gaming.
Hey there.
How's it going?
Yes, not too bad. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. It's worth saying we're 9th age just in case they've accidentally clicked the video when they wanted the old world and they've got the 9th age instead.
Sure.
But stick around because you might like it.
Hey, you never know.
Yeah.
But yes, we are here for another battle report for the 9th age, and we are cracking straight on with Art of War Prep, which is of course a tournament we're going to, and I am cracking straight on with some more Vampire Covenant.
Yeah. You're going to the
practice.
originator with this one, aren't you?
And I have, yes.
The person who created your list, sort of.
I said I love your list so much, Limit, and then it just the conversation carried on, and we ended up playing, and so I was like, amazing. And Eliot,
he didn't take his list though, did he? It would have been
of course,
mirror match of silly proportions.
And he even bless him as well. He's playing an orc army at the minute, I think. I'm not sure he's got a tournament lined up, but he's playing orcs at the minute, and he said, "Oh, I'll play you orcs." And I was like, "Okay, cool. I've just played orcs." Like, "Oh no, I'll play something different then." I was like, "Okay, cool." So he's switching in between for me for a bit of practice, and we had a good chat. And it's just.
And then he told you he was bringing out dwarves. And you were, oh.
Yeah. Despite the Dwarven Hold, he is one of the nicest guys.
Forgive him for that.
Yeah. He's very positive. Really, and it sort of is contagious as well when you're around him. So it's I'm really positive to. I'm really keen to learn off about what he does with the list as well, but also just to have a chance to play him as well. Good player as well. Got into Wales and the Masters obviously last month.
Yeah.
So
he didn't just get into Wales, like as in the country. He got into Wales, team
ETC
or ETC.
Team Wales.
Yeah.
I mean, it might have only just. I'm not sure. He's French lad. He's not.
Do you think he's allowed in Wales?
I don't know.
Country? Is there rules about French people?
There might be some weird rules. I think there
might be.
So double check. Yeah, it might. Anyway,
definitely, especially if you're Eliot.
Yeah, and the list didn't change between battles last time, but just to go over it, I've got 2 killy vampires, some arises and ways to arise, but they're on skeletal steeds and go in the Baron Heights unit. That's what you need to know. I have 2 units of skeletons that complement it, 2 units of dire wolves and bat forms of chaff, Donny Darkcoach, and Varki the Varkalak to round off. It's a play on his list because it's not exactly his list. He had 2 Varkalaks and some other bits, but it's down to the models and me wanting to play Donny Darkcoach. So we've adjusted it thusly.
Yeah, tell me what Black Standard of Zagavogt does again. Is that -1 to hit?
+1 to hit for Baron.
Oh, +1 to hit for you. Right, yeah, cool. I meant to say in the last battle, but I couldn't remember what it did.
Yeah. Onto his list, and he has a big king on shield bearers. He's got a Thane BSB, Runic Smith, Engineer, big unit of Greybeards, 2 units of Clans Marksman, big unit of Kingsguard, 1 medium unit of Seekers, 1 small unit of Seekers, and an Organ Gun.
Oh, your favourite.
I told him I'm just so scared of the organ gun, and what I would normally do against it is just not play. I'd stay out of 30 inches and we'd just shake hands and have a drink, sir. However, we're on Warhall, we're having a bit of laugh, and I thought, well, that's not a fun game, so we do something else. We played Dawn Assault and Capture the Flag's Star. Now this is a
Art of War
Prep thing. I think this is round 1. I'm not sure, but again, I said to Eliot, look, are you going to use this in Art War? Do you mind if we do a scenario? He was like, yeah, sure. And he actually helped Dan suggest this one, so it made sense. And what the star is basically exactly the same as Dawn Assault Capture the Flags, only you get a Wrath of God bound spell every turn.
Nice.
And the strength of it is determined by how many veil tokens you have. So that's essentially in our back pockets throughout the game if we need it. So
while you say that, Dan, Dan's doing some great work in designing these scenarios for the Art of War. It's worth saying because a lot of the talk in 9th age is that maybe the objectives are a little bit generic or overused nowadays, and so inserting a tournament with some weird scenarios or versions of different scenarios is really cool. So yeah, fair play to Dan and the helpers, like Eliot, who are making that happen.
Yeah,
It's really good
yeah,
to
it
see.
definitely spices things up a bit, which is quite nice. I
Oh, you didn't deploy like that.
We deployed like this because he got first
30
turn.
inches.
He got first
And
turn, and this
you,
very much.
you.
I mean, I just stayed.
I'm just going to shake my head.
Why? 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 Because I didn't want to get shot off turn one.
How did you even think that you could fit that in?
And I could because it's still an assault, and 2 of my units are not on the table.
You know that there's a lot of your deployment zone that you could have deployed outside 30 inches, but somewhere else. You didn't have to make it look quite that obvious.
Oh no, I told him. I said I know you can't see it, but I've got a 30-inch ring around your. I know exactly where he can and can't shoot for the rest of the game. But I also, like I said, it's still an assault, and I thought, well, let's try something up for the tournament. So one of my
Please tell me you're going to forget and vanguard the Varkalak into that 30-inch bubble.
Quite possibly, we'll see.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. Carry on.
So yeah, this does end deployment, and I do have a unit of skeletons and vampire knights off the board. I originally was like, well, it's capture the flags. Should I not just put both my skeleton units off because they're going to be useless, and I need them off? But I was like, no, you know what? I'll try it with the vampire knights. But I just meme-wise, I just want to put the skeletons off and just leave them off for a little while. But anyway, I tried it with 1-on-1 because I thought vampire knights still would make a good threat later on in the game and wouldn't get shot. I wouldn't have to worry about them not being shot. So I've got Johnny Dark Coach in the middle, then skeletons, dogs, big Baronite bus, chaff behind him, bats behind him, then dogs and Varklak in the corner. He's got a unit of 11 seekers at the top with his catapult and organ gun, catapult behind. He's got a unit of clan marksmen with an engineer in it. He's got the big unit seekers, big unit Kingsguard, and then the other side of the house, he's got a unit of greybeards and marksmen. He gets first turn, so I move up with my vanguard like so. He also has a vanguard as well. So no, I do dodge it. I actually go into the forest to get some cover from the marksman and get a bit closer as well. He moves up with his Kingsguard like this, and then it's on to his turn. So this is Vanguard, as I've said. Yeah, I think it's better just. So these are all the vanguards.
The animations are there, you know.
I know. I'm preempting them. Yeah. This is his movement. So he moves up with the seekers. He actually moves up with the organ gun. You can see the template is now moved to encapsulate more of.
So that you know how to move back and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is what I said to him. I said, "I'm tournament game. I might just keep going back."
Yeah, I bet you would.
Maybe not today. Maybe not today. He moves on to that wall as well for some distracting ability. There. Over here, he gets distracting or hard. I think it's distracting rune. He's basically got distracting rune and 3
gleaming.
3 -1 to wound runes is what he's got. So
okay, fair enough.
And shooting, all in all, does 1 wound. I'll take it.
You're more than happy with that. Yeah,
I'll take it.
Although that's almost like not enough to justify an arise.
Yeah, right.
It's just one.
Not do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I take a long charge. I think I needed a 10, and he decided, you know what, it's not worth it. I'm going to flee.
Yeah, that's fair. So that especially with capture the flags.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So he goes there, and I fail charge. I will fail charge. I take also an 11 charge into his unit, thinking that I can chaff his other stuff if I need to. So let's just go right up. Why not? I don't make it with either of them, and I fail charge like so.
Yeah, fair enough.
On to the rest of my movement, and I just move up a little bit and see what I can do with it. I chaff the greybeards from charging the flank of my Varkalak.
Yeah, that's really good. That's something you're really good at. It's like trying stuff, knowing that you've got that chaff unit to come and run in and cover you. Like I think that's a move that I've definitely seen you get better and better at over the years. Like I mean, your armies you play, you tend to have chaff units that can do that, like eagles and dire wolves and warhounds. They're all very maneuverable and able to do that sort of stuff. Even your flayers, in your warriors.
Oh, very much so. Yeah.
But I think it's still a skill that you really perfected over the years. So yeah, I really like it when you pull that off.
Oh, thank you. And the only one I didn't like was my dire wolves at the bottom. Basically, they moved there so that the skeletons could just basically start their movement towards the corner.
Okay.
But
yeah.
I couldn't really move both, so I had to. I didn't really like where they ended up, but
sure.
But yeah, that's where
they're staying alive for the next turn.
They
next few turns. So yeah, that's all right.
I get Rot Within off on the Kingsguard, so that's a permanent
cool.
-1 offensive defensive, and I sacrifice I think some skeletons so that my general gets a +1 offensive defensive.
Nice.
So I think he's offensive. I want to say 8 or 9 now, and
yeah,
they're back
it's
down
ridiculous.
to 4. So that's very important.
Mm.
He then charges into my chaff that way, not going for it with the greybeards. These guys at the back rally. Correct. And this is the rest of a dwarf's movement. He moves his seekers on the left, basically awaiting the dawn assault ambush.
That's a good play. I like that.
Yeah, he's basically covered all of that top part of the board, and his seekers just move up thustily. Really,
didn't move the organ gun again, no.
Didn't need to, mate. Didn't need to.
He's charged up, ready to go.
He does actually. I don't know whether he forgets, but he just doesn't move the greybeards at all, which is something to keep an eye on for future. He goes in here. He gets both runes off. I just let them off. I'm not going to be charging them right now. No. So he goes off and then shooting with his catapult comes down and kills 5. Then the rest of his shooting, marksman and organ gun, kill another 5. Part of the reason I didn't want to be in that 30 inches, to be honest, but I'm in there and I'm alive. So
I guess the issue that this list would have is that there really isn't anything else to shoot at. Like, unless you had your vampire knights on the table, there is no other targets for these shooting units. They're only going to ever shoot your Baron Knight, the unit. So that is the counter argument to going within this 30 inches. Is like, if I even dip within 30 inches, they're definitely being shot. Nothing else will take the hit for them.
I don't have too much in the way of range either, which doesn't really help me out in that front. So it is a thing. But I weren't here to pussyfoot around.
You're here to party.
We're here to party, very much so. He kills the dogs, obs. I'm very surprised if anything else happened. And we go on to my turn, and I declare some charges. As I said, his greybeards didn't move, which actually meant I had a flank charge.
Wow.
Very ever so slightly, but it was. And if I don't go in now, I'm just going to get shot. So I take the charge with my Baron Knights there, knowing that, and as you can see, I've got the arcs up. Knowing that my bat swarms can move up 12 to do it. There was a chart, and I say this to Eliot, he's proper to his credit. They were 0.1 out when I do get in with the Vampire Knights of my March range, but he said, it's such a silly, it's so close, just do it anyway. We're like, okay, fair play. Yeah. So I also haven't mentioned, but Donnie Darkcoach goes into the Seekers. He's only strength 5. I want to see how that plays out. I don't know. I've got a 4 up Aegis and I've got 3 up Vampiric.
You didn't charge your skeletons in with him.
I've learned. I've learned. Also,
I took so much pleasure saying that.
I know.
Honestly, that was so good. That was just for me. And Tommy.
But yeah, so they all get in and I chaff like so. My dogs just move up to chaff on another turn as well.
Yeah. Are your other 2 units not coming in yet?
Not yet. I don't, it appears. So no. But yes, the other 2 units on the board
They're chilling.
are chilling at the minute. I get Breath Corruption and Hand of Glory off on this.
Nice.
I think he saves it for Hand of Glory, and then it's not good. So I'm super buffed from my point of view. And
you didn't get an Arise off though. Did he dispel an Arise?
No. So I led with a 2 dice Arise. He let off. He stopped. He let off Breath Corruption, and then I diced him on Hand of Glory.
Did you not want an Arise then? You had 2 Arises.
No, but I'd rather have 2 spells.
Ooh, that's bold.
But he stopped the first Arise, and I think I had 5 left, and he had 2 or 3. So I went 2 and 3 and did it like that.
I would have definitely got the second Arise in my priorities personally, but fair enough.
I figure I'm buffed at this point, and that's better than just having extra models, because then if I'm buffed, I'll get some anyway with the first. But I don't really know from this unit,
this way the Greybeards can only kill 3 Baron Knights. Worst case scenario, so 3 combat res, I guess.
Yeah,
Whereas if they had more, then maybe they could do more combat res.
Donnie Darkcoach goes in and does really well. 6 kills 6, takes 3, but vampirics 1 back after winning combat. So I'm happy enough with that. He does have 5 wounds, so I need to be careful. But I'm happy enough. I'm taking the attacks off next, I think. So over here, I do maybe 10 wounds.
You're not really taking attacks off because they'll attack anyway.
No, from now on, So from now,
sure,
I'll be taking attacks off. I do about 10 wounds in the Greybeards. I think I keep hold of the Breath of Corruption again, so that I can do it in the next turn, knowing that this is going to be the big turn where I go in. I think he also might challenge at some point, so there's a challenge, and there's BSB right there. I think I choose. I choose to do all my attacks on his BSB, and I do 1 wound. And at that point, I've declared not to do the breath weapon, so I have to then keep it for the next turn as well. So but I do 2 wounds with my general and regrow 2 Baronites as well. So that's cool. It doesn't
the True Thirst blade or whatever it is? Does that get D3 models back?
No, you get 2. Yeah.
Is it just flat 2?
You get the raise. It's this very specific wording. You get the raise value, taking away the dice.
Yeah,
so it's D3, plus 2. So it's the standard,
the flat number,
the flat raise value. Yeah.
So it's just the
very
plus
specific
2, not
thing.
the D3.
So for them it's plus 2. For other, if it was skeletons, it'd be plus 4, for example.
Very good to get 2 cavalry back, especially 2 up cavalry.
I think I do. I take a wound on Varkalek and I regrow it through Vampiric 3 up as well. So
doing well on that Vampiric. Yeah.
Over here, he charged into my chaff, obviously, and he takes a long charge. I think he needs a 9. I think it was a 9 with his marksman into my.
And that's nothing else for them to shoot, is there? And they get the +1 strength from the charge, so why not?
So tries to take that. Over here, we'll see what happens with that one. Over here in the second round of combat, I actually do really well and put most of my stuff, including the Breath of Corruption, into the unit. I think I kill like another 10 with everything all told. So that's pretty good. They have got the rune of whatever it is, -1 to wound as well. So that's doing pretty well there.
Is it smiting, that one? I can't remember.
Yeah, something like that. They make it, and boy, my Dark Clash is good.
+1 strength on the charge. They're windy on 5s. Just the weight of attacks that they're putting in there on the flank.
Like he made
Plus
he made a good charge. Fair play. At that point, you just got to say well done. That was cool. I was a bit gutted, not because I died, because I just wanted to see it out with the Seekers. With just Dark Coach versus
because that was what you signed up for, was the Dark Coach versus
I wanted
Seekers.
To see the grind and see
the
how
marksman just ruined everything.
Yeah,
how could you, Eliot? How could you?
ironically, that
I've
was
always
why I
said
was
he's not a sportsman-like player, that Elliot.
yeah,
I've
he's
always said
taking all
that.
these
Always said it.
taking all these charges, goodness
Yeah.
me. But yeah, good charge, and they reform as such, like
Yeah.
like this.
Hmm.
Onto my turn, and my guys do come on. Hooray! And I
Hooray!
put them up
Ooh.
here, and I'm thinking at this point, this is my turn 3. If he
Hmm.
even if he charged me straight away, it would it
Yeah.
would be like quite a while to get through those skeletons and stuff. And he's
Yeah,
only
and
got
plus any
11.
skeletons can actually kill the seekers in return.
Yeah, so
Uh,
is that so?
your knights are free to do what they want.
Yeah, and I put my knights like that. I actually made a mistake. I thought they could get past the impassable,
Oh, can they not?
but you need an inch between it, and I
Hmm.
couldn't quite fit on the board edge, so I can't march, unfortunately.
So you should have been too
past that.
wide, really.
Yeah. So which I find out later, but that's just to
Sure.
let you know on that. But I mean, it is
Yeah.
marching right up to an organ gun who would shoot him, so maybe it's not of something. But yes. So this is the
His
remainder.
grudge thrower must have misfired as well at some point.
Yeah, it did.
Taking a wind.
In the last one, going after the skeletons.
Mm.
So yeah, the remainder of my movement. My skeletons move back at the bottom. He kills the chaff in the last one, but I try and do some buffs and heals on the Barrow Knights. He dispels everything. He leaves me with 2 dice, so I bound spell Dead Arise to chaff his
Nice.
guys again. I'm actually going to go back here. I again, my dogs, sorry, end up in this position, but they started here. And I don't know why I didn't just chaff those 2 units going after my skeletons. Bearing in mind it's flags.
Yeah.
Next turn would be his turn 4. He'd go into me, may have overrun, and then he'd only have 1 or 2 turns to actually get into me. So I don't know what... This is one thing I was pondering at the end, and will probably be something we come back to. I don't know why I did that and then ended up here.
Were you thinking that you could take out the organ gun with the dogs
Yeah,
if he didn't shoot you?
Yeah, very possibly. Go after war machine hunting, but yeah. So yeah. Anyway, basically, this magic phase, I get Dead Arise.
You have lost a few dogs. Is that because you're sacrificing dogs?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, it was for Hand of Glory, and then he dispelled it.
So you're obviously, if you are war machine hunting, you're very confident in how many dogs you'll have left.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, they're my only unengaged unit, because at this point I didn't have the zombies up and stuff. I continue going to town, and now they are not steadfast in here, so I beat them up. I think I killed the BSB at this point as well, and they run, and I catch them, which is huge for capture the flags and some points as well. 28 greybeards plus a BSB, very, very good pointage. I absolutely go after both, because in that corner, remember, there is a marksman unit I need to get.
There is another scoring unit.
Both run that way. I do catch the unit, and I get into the marksman with Varkalak, so I'm having a good time there.
So it was only a temporary escape for them when they fed that charge.
Yeah, and now this is one that they don't get standard shoot to, so I'm very happy with that scenario, and it's 2 scoring units. His king can come out into my rear, which is a thought, but I'm very killy.
Yeah, you can stop him from killing your unit,
and then his unit's just dead in the water, because that'd be his turn 4.
Yeah, because they wouldn't be able to charge the zombies, would they? Yeah.
So we kind of both know he's not going to do it, but it's a thought regardless. Then he goes into this, and the thoughts are confirmed. And this is the remaining turn 4 movement. You can see he's actually just about to reveal the magic card.
Action shot.
Action shot. His seekers at the top just go over to say, come on then. His seekers at the bottom just go down to say, come on then. And his marksman turn to kill the dogs. And also, very good move on his part, stop the charge into his organ gun. Because I'd have to wheel that side of it. So that was a good move from him. His engineer leaves that unit and starts going back to the war machines to help them out a tad as well. Over here he gets distracting off. I think I let this go because I've got hatred. So Why not?
Sure. Yeah.
I kill them, overrun, and go off the board. Varkey's
Oh,
having a
that's
great
handy.
day.
Yeah.
You also notice he's regained his wound back as well, so absolutely
Yeah.
flying.
I love that even now you've still got the 30-inch organ gun range up.
Yes.
For the whole battle.
You don't understand how many dreams it's ruined.
Well, it's turned them into nightmares.
So that's how it looks at the end of his turn 4. My turn 4. These guys aren't going to survive. Let's see if we go in. I can maximize. He's only got 3 or 4. Something might happen.
Yeah.
The rest of my movement is moving into Horde with skeletons.
Okay.
The bottom unit reason being so it gives more space. He now needs a 10 to get in.
Yeah.
And the top reason because he's only got 11 guys, and I want to maximize. And combat res does nothing, right?
No.
These guys. So let's just carry on. You can see my mistake coming into fruition. At the top, I'm now having to go too wide and go up, making sure that the organ gun can't see me in any way, shape, or form. Their Varklet comes back on, and also in the top right, my Barrow Knights abandon my Killy Vampires because, to be honest, they're just a liability.
They're keeping their flag.
They're just a liability in that combat. They're just combat res waiting to happen. And I'm 1 up armor with both my guys. Let's have it out. Let's see if they can hold up the Kingsguard and a king. Let's give it a go. So yeah, there's that. I get another rot within off on the unit, which is great because it's the king as well. So I think he goes from, I want to say 7 down to 5 now, and I get I actually take 2 wounds on the Barrow Knight, capture the flags, knowing that they can't be shot or caught at this point, so that I gain it on the general. See, he's now weapon skill 9.
Pretty fearsome. He's like literally he's holding his weapon out in front of him, and the weapon's growing.
Yeah. Over here, I don't kill that one because that's the engineer, but I do kill one going in, and I don't lose any. But of course, they're steadfast. They hold and maximize for next turn. So we'll see if they can carry on. But so far, it's 1-0 dogs, baby.
All right. They
charges
the Seekers?
both. And he also charges Kingsguard into my unit of Killy Knights.
Of course he does.
So we're having it out. You'll also notice in my last phase that I got a Wrath of God down.
Oh yeah, the old objective
hasn't come down yet because obviously it's just. But yeah.
How do you cast it in this objective? Do you have to cast it with 2 dice?
Spell. It's a bounce spell.
Yeah. I know both players have got it, and the strength is equal to the amount of Val tokens you've got to pull out that time.
Yep. Whenever it comes down, that's when it does.
So, whenever it comes down, so not necessarily when you cast it. Right?
Yes. He moves his stone thrower as it can't shoot anything out of line of sight, and they're all out of line of sight of my units now. So we have a bit of a standoff. The dogs die. We'll call it 1-1 in combats.
No, you can't really.
But yeah, they die there. But I do kill one before crumbling to dust.
Yes.
Over here, this is after combat, and I've killed 2. We're only going to keep hold of how many I kill because he's just going to go through me in droves. They do have paired weapons as an option, which does make them only strength 4. But obviously go through my parry, which is my main thing. So I lost like 10 or something. Over here, I kill 3, so doing slightly better over on this one. And it's literally just a race of who can kill who first.
Because, who can stop the attacks coming in?
Yeah. We both have enough time to do so. It won't be like we'll still be grinding at the end. It will be one unit dies or
and one unit eventually overcomes the other.
He gets distracting off on this unit, but going in, I do 3 wounds to the king and 3 wounds to the unit, and I think I only take 1.
It's very good.
So doing really well. He obviously is.
That was a duel, right?
I think it was a duel, yeah. Or it doesn't matter if it's not because he can only attack my general. anyway with this
Yeah,
game.
but then the unit didn't hurt your other guy at all.
Yeah, I can't remember what it is, but yeah,
It's quite good at
that was the
AP3.
end.
You
And
got a special save though.
they have no BSB, and they
Oh no!
run, baby.
Oh no! Oh
I don't
no!
catch them though, but it is
Oh,
my
boo-hoo
turn
you!
next. It is my turn next. So they are currently
Okay.
fleeing
Yeah.
with a wounded
Oh,
king
nice.
and
Yeah.
a overrun to this position. So
Mm.
here we go. I think I'm 6 inches away as well, so I've even got +1 and Swift Stride on them on the next turn. So
Nice.
yeah, massive turn up for the books. Not only could they hold them, they broke them.
Very
which
good.
was,
Very good.
obviously very lucky. I charged them, and gosh darn, these dwarves are quick, and they rolled double 6 on the thing.
They're quick when they want to be.
Oh my goodness, they're sprinting dwarves, and I actually failed charge and just stumbled forwards somewhat. And oh, okay, well that was a missed opportunity, but really I shouldn't have had that opportunity, so I won't grumble too much. Over on here, I completely backtrack with the Vampire Knights and move them over this way, maybe thinking that once they've killed enough skeletons, I'll go in with the
Vampire Knights and kill off the Seekers. Yeah.
And otherwise, Varkalak and Baronites just
Quite happy
hide.
not to be seen.
For the rest of
That's what they did in the
turn 5
battle against
movement.
us, really.
Yeah, very much.
I know, actually, yeah. Different unit.
But oh boy,
Oh no!
I actually get another Wrath of God in this turn, but
Yeah.
but Wrath of God comes down, bang,
Bang! Just
kills
like
all
that.
3. Don't worry
What?
about it. I do.
What strength was it?
You get, what is it? It was D6 plus. So your amount of hits is and strength is equal to the Veil tokens. So you get D6 plus Veil tokens. We had 5 in their total between us. So I'm strength.
It's both players.
Yeah, strength 5, and I rolled a 6, a 5, and a 5. So I had 11, nice. 10, and 10, and I just obliterated them. It was so funny.
Yeah. I bet Eliot was just laughing so hard.
Well, I said you can't blame it when you came up with this. we were actually joking that it
wasn't that powerful.
There was quite a lot of times where we had 0 between us, Veil tokens. So we were like, yeah, thinking about it, we might have to text Dan to say that it's not and like add a D6 plus 2 or something to the strength or whatever.
Yeah.
And then it came down and just
took out like 700 points of models.
Yeah, we don't have to say anything at all. Over here, we continue the slog. I kill 2 more, but he is getting through skeletons here. So if I need to speed up the pace, and I'm now losing attacks, which is quite.
That one's going his way.
Yeah, over here I killed 2, but he absolutely kills a bunch. So again, I'm losing attacks. He's getting there. He can't quite do it. Over here, he gets a Wrath of God down. So fair enough. He then very last turn.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, his last turn, he went first actually, so he kills me.
He almost lost too many. He could have actually afforded to lose a couple more, and then he wouldn't have been in your line of sight.
I know we did joke. So he kills them there on his turn. You
flee with both units.
I flee. Would you believe?
Despite being unable to flee. Yeah.
Go this way. I move up right here because I'm being whittled down, so that I can raise them up again and do that. But I mean,
that's just cheating.
Attacks. And he still kills me. Regardless.
Serves you right, undead creeps.
I know, trying to get back. But yeah, so it gets 2 scoring units. I've only got 2 because I didn't get the Kingsguard in the end.
No, they're valid.
This is how it looks at the end of play.
There you go.
So overall, just a really super fun game.
Oh, and he did reform the Seekers to be out of your vampire.
Yeah, he did. So we just moved. It's my turn next anyway. Yeah. So yeah. It was really fun game. Eliot's a great lad. I really liked playing with him. I'm definitely gonna see if I can get a few more games in. Maybe before Out of War, if not, just anyway. Because he's I've really enjoyed playing with him. But down to the crux of things.
The crux, where we all want to be.
Yeah. And I win 12-8. Hooray!
Okay.
No
Points victory.
no objectives, but it was points, and the points were down to the wrath of God.
Yeah, yeah. So this is a scenario where the objective is just a standard objective, but there's just like an extra flavor thrown in.
There's a funky thing, yeah.
This one got you like 700 of those points, which is
Yeah.
how many you're won by. So
That's what I mean. That my only points win was down to the objective, and that's Eliot's fault. So what can you do?
totally Eliot's fault. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. What
So
was
yeah,
he thinking?
Yeah, but no, really fun game on Warhall. Really good to get a game in against him. And from our point of view, that's not where the fun stops by any means. I hope you've been enjoying all the content that we've been pumping your way. We are desperately trying to get as much physical content out there as possible. But there are other ways to get involved. If outside of YouTube, we've got Twitter, Facebook, of course, a Patreon. As well, which we're getting in touch with people on and doing some stuff there, some behind the scenes stuff, which is pretty cool. And the 9th Age Forum, if you are 9th Age inclined, then you can hit us up through that. Of course, like, share, subscribe for on YouTube to get all of our content, not just 9th Age, all the wonderful wargaming content that we do, and yeah, that's all the plug-in.
I mean, you've left nothing for me to plug there, so I'm just going to say, comment on how awesome Lucky Six has just finished this video. Because I've got nothing to add. I'm out.
Yeah,
done. I'm going to try.
Yeah, not long now until Out of War as well. So looking forward to that. But until next time, as always, see you later.